Hey my friends, this is Daniel Alley, and today I want to talk with you about 5 major problems that all rich people face. In every single case, I'm going to tell you that every single person who's in the top 1%, including me, have realized these 5 problems that I'm about to share with you. So listen up. The first major problem that all rich people face is misunderstanding. There are so many people who've accomplished the echelons of success. They've made a lot of money. They've done exactly what they know they're supposed to do, but they're still largely misunderstood by the masses. Not only are they misunderstood by the masses, they may also be misunderstood by their family, by their clients, by their employees, by their neighbors, by the people that they're surrounded by in their life. Now, I've talked to a lot of people, and I can tell you there are many virtues of being wealthy. Most of all, you have money. A lot of times you have freedom, you have options, and you have opportunities. But simultaneously, you can be misunderstood by a lot of people. Others will be jealous of you. Others will hate you just because you have money. Some people will even call you greedy. They'll call you selfish. They'll even call you evil, just because you have more money than they do. My friends, if you're on a journey to becoming wealthy, I'm gonna be straightforward with you and tell you that even though you have money on your side, certain people will hate you just because you're doing something that they know they can never do in their own lives. Now, like I said, it's great to have money, but if you feel like you're misunderstood by the majority of people, this actually leads us into our second point, which is loneliness. You see, most people feel lonely because they know that they cannot talk to certain people because of the way they're viewed from those people. For example, if you want a nice night out and you decide to go to a restaurant and you pull up to valet with your nice car, people are gonna look at you funny. Or even if you take that car to the car wash or to the gas station, you're gonna feel the envy. You're gonna feel the jealousy, and sometimes you might feel the loneliness that comes along with that misunderstanding. Another reason why a wealthy person might feel lonely is because they're always trying to protect their mind, because they understand that if they surround themselves with certain people and certain environments, it can prevent them from thinking in the right direction. For example, I am very conscious about the choices I make in my everyday life. In other words, I don't go to places that are heavily congested. I don't go to places where I know I'm gonna face traffic, where people are waiting and potentially complaining, where there's loud music or noises that I'm not familiar with. No, I'm gonna protect my mind because I understand the value of my life. I understand that I wanna share my message with millions of people, and in order to do that effectively, I have to protect my mindset and I have to protect my environment. So all I'm saying is this: as you're on the journey to your own wealth, you're gonna find out that there's a lot of times where you might be lonely. There's a lot of times where you're gonna have to isolate yourself to work on your craft, to work on yourself, to work on your mind. In order to grow in the highest level, you have to protect your mind. You have to control your environment. You have to watch the people and the places and the things that you see and the interactions that you have. Because when you control your mind, you control your life. And that's also something that can make you very lonely, because it puts you in a position where you get deep and intimate with your own thoughts. And sometimes your thoughts could be so deep that no one might be able to understand it. And that's why you need to make friends. That's why you need to enjoy your lifestyle. That's why you need to enjoy the work that produces the results that serves humanity. The third major problem that all rich people face is high taxation. Now, if you live in America, you get taxed almost 40% if you earn a certain income. Now, I'm gonna tell you something. Even if you're earning a lot of money, when you get taxed 40%, that's really a big chunk of what you earned. For example, if you report an income of $1 million, that means that the government is going to take their fair share of almost $400,000. Now imagine this: even if you created so much wealth for yourself and so much wealth for other people, you're still gonna be judged for paying your fair share of taxes. There's still gonna be politicians and masses of people that are gonna say millionaires and billionaires don't pay enough in taxes. Of course, that's incredulous, But I'm just making a point to show you how much people misunderstand those who are wealthy. Now, I would never tell you not to pay your taxes, but what I will tell you is to never pay your taxes begrudgingly. Never hold a grudge when it comes to paying your taxes. Because as you become wealthy, you will learn where your taxes actually go, and it can be increasingly frustrating every single year, especially as you pay more in taxes. So make sure to hold your peace. Make sure to understand the role that your taxes play in society, and pay your taxes willingly. Pay your taxes fairly, and pay your taxes without worrying about it until next year. The fourth problem that all rich people face are high pressures. Look, we all know that when you make more money, there are more responsibilities. Of course, a lot of people don't know this because they just want to make the money, but they don't see the responsibilities involved with making the money. And that's why an artist once said, more money, more problems. You see, my friends, if you understand how many responsibilities earning $1 million a year actually brings, most people would never even want to complete the task because it's quite laborious. There's a lot of hard work and there's a lot of pressure that you'll face along the way. Now, I'm not trying to scare you, I'm only trying to prepare you. There's gonna be a lot of nights where you're tossing and turning in bed because you're worried about a certain client who's going to pay you overnight. Or maybe you're concerned about a massive transaction that you just made because you took a big risk and you don't know if it's going to pay off. You see, there's so many pressures that you're gonna face. There's so many worries you might have. There's so many things you might encounter that if you're not ready for it, you're never going to be able to have the equanimity required in order to have utmost peace. One of the greatest pressures of all time come in the form of expectations. Because not only will you have expectations of yourself, but other people will have expectations on you. For instance, if a basketball player is drafted #1 overall ahead of everyone else, they're drafted because they're expected to perform at the highest level. And if they don't perform at the highest level, the pressure becomes even more until they eventually fade away. If a large company hires a CEO, that person is expected to perform in a certain way and deliver a certain number on a specific day. If your favorite actor just came out with a new movie, then you're gonna have higher expectations on that person. If you go to a concert to hear your favorite musician, then you're gonna expect and anticipate that that person is going to perform in a certain way past your own expectations. You see, there's a lot of people who are put into a position of high pressure that if they don't meet the expectations of the majority of people, not only can they get fired from their job and lose that opportunity permanently, but it can lead to severe depression. So all I'm saying is that as you become wealthy, you will face high pressures. You will face high demands. You will face so many different expectations from so many different people in so many different ways. So you better be ready to handle those expectations and perform at the highest level. The fifth major problem that all rich people face are inconveniences. Now, like I said before, when you become wealthy, there's a lot of pressure, but there's also a lot of inconveniences. There's gonna be so many times where you're just trying to catch a break, when all of a sudden you're inconvenienced by a certain thing that needs your attention. Your phone might start ringing. You might receive a text message. You might get an email. You might have to check your accounts at a certain time in a certain way every single day. And so you have to be ready to give your attention to the things that require you the most. Now, I know you might be thinking, man, Daniel, I don't know if I want to be rich. You're actually convincing me not to be rich. High taxes, inconveniences, high pressures, misunderstanding, loneliness. I don't know if I can do this. Well, let me tell you more, because there are more things I have to share. When you become wealthy, it seems like everyone wants a piece of you. I have a friend that's very wealthy, he's very successful, and he's incredibly famous. And everywhere he goes, there's always someone that's calling his name. There's always someone that wants to take a quick selfie so they can post on their social media. Now, of course, he never wants to be treated like an animal, and these people don't know it because they misunderstand him. But this is a consequence of him deciding to become wealthy and successful and famous. You see, my friends, if you put yourself in a position to be like a person that you know is going to get a certain kind of attention, then you have to understand the consequences that you might be facing. In other words, there's always someone that's gonna demand your reputation. They're gonna demand your skills. They're gonna demand your talents. And if you're not ready to give them whenever they want it, then they might be upset with you. And you might actually feel guilty because you always wanna please other people. So there you go, my friends. These are the 5 things that you need to know before and during your journey to wealth. If you understand this video, make sure to type yes in the comment section below. And also share this video with someone else that you know absolutely needs it. Again, this is Daniel Alley. Make sure to follow me on Instagram if you want to see more of what I do behind the scenes and how I run and conduct my business. Guys, this is Daniel Alley. I look forward to seeing you in the future and helping you become the person you've always wanted to be. See you guys on the next video.